The Bitcoin ETFs officially began trading yesterday and on day one saw 4.6 billion in volume pile in. Remarkable. So who better to talk about this than BlackRock CEO Larry Fink himself, who is here to break it all down.
Anytime your name gets mentioned, ratings go up, I think. But anyway, it attracts a lot of attention. This is going to be a wild year.
Yeah.
Let's get to Bitcoin because
Sure.
This is a huge thing. I mean, I see it as the minute Larry Fink put his imprimatur on this thing, it was going to go through. You don't have to take credit for it, but you can. Is it you that pushed this? Because Gensler hates it. I mean, they were dragging their feet on this thing for years.
There are still a lot of people hate it. So
Gensler still hates it, apparently.
So I'm not going to talk about Gary, but I did believe, and it still remains, and this is Gary's position, that it's still one of the vehicles for illicit activity. So I think no one can deny that. Where I came around to it, and I came around to a different interpretation 3 years ago, that there's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. It is a great store, and this is where you could debate. Is it a good store?
Do you know how it's made? A bunch of computers figure out.
But the issue is if people believe that it can be an asset that can be crossed border. And let's be clear, if you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, and maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it. If you're in a government where if you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits.
Like us.
I'm not going to go there.
The little elephant in the room here.
Yeah. You could say this is a great potential long-term store of value. And as I said, it's like digital gold. And I believe...
But you still can't buy a slice of pizza with it. Bitcoin, it's literally a ledger.
It is a ledger, but it's an international ledger. It's cross-border. It's bigger than any government.
I agree with you.
Holy shit! I gotta say, Larry Fink just dropping Bitcoin bombs was not on my 2024 bingo card. But look at this, the Bitcoin supply dynamics are shifting. You want to talk about a whale? BlackRock's 11,500 Bitcoin acquisition in just 2 days is equivalent to 13 days of Bitcoin production, as 900 are mined each day. And it's about to be cut in half very shortly, with Larry Fink and the ETFs consuming 23,000 Bitcoin daily. At this rate, 1.8 million Bitcoin on exchanges could dry up in just 118 days. Yo, we got a lot of bullish news to cover. Let's get it.
Party, that party. Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Supply shock plus demand shock equals price shock, baby. And again, the 11,439 Bitcoin in just 2 days. Reminder, 900 are issued daily, cutting in half in April. Guys, I don't know if we're bullish enough. And please, for the love of God, tell me you didn't sell during this little dip for ants.
Nice try.
That's right, you gotta channel that inner Michael Douglas, baby. Not today, Fiat Satan, but ETFs are low velocity. This from Adam Back, buy and hold investment. So he's saying these people investing, it's not gonna be in and out and short-term mindsets here, as ETFs siphon approximately 90 billion worth of Bitcoin and about 1 to 2 billion in tax, selling from their GBTC paper Bitcoin and then going into cold storage at maybe $1 billion a day. Guys, things get very interesting. We're talking about absolute scarcity. You can't be set on these short-term price swings. No one can predict what Bitcoin's gonna do in a day or two, or, even in a week. But we do know green, 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 red, baby. We know the long-term price. We also know its long-term value. And the Larry Finks of the world, they're all waking up to the fact that, well, Bitcoin has been falling upwards for 15 years. Don't be a blue-haired, paper-handed pansy. That's not how you win. You hodl. That's how you win. Hearing, some of the gold and Bitcoin and this debate, the what is money question is getting much bigger, and it is evolving into mainstream consciousness. And a lot of people don't realize this. Shout out to you, Max. The state does not force or enforce Bitcoin as real currency, so it's not money. But the real take, guys, currency is issued by a state. Money existed before the state. Bitcoin separates money from the state, and Bitcoin is here to eventually bring the state to its knees. Need proof? Go ahead and look at El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender, reinventing and creating a masterpiece of governance and bringing in talent from all over the world. 10% GDP. El Salvador is winning in a major way. This is so interesting. We got the CEO of Vanguard Vanguard. He called Bitcoin a stable asset like gold, but then goes on to say he doesn't steer clients toward these type of stable assets, implying preference of unstable assets. Well, everything that is a derivative of fiat in some ways is a unstable asset. You got to start measuring things in Bitcoin. Don't be highly vanguarded.
We won't be pursuing a Bitcoin ETF. Just like we don't use gold as an asset class for our clients. So it's not that people can't invest in there. We just look at asset classes for, what belongs in a long-term portfolio, what has intrinsic value, has cash flows to it, and those are the asset classes we steer people towards. And so we don't go towards Bitcoin or gold or any other of those stable assets.
Guy over here talking about all of his securities and stocks. We're over here talking about sound money, changing the future, and unleashing freedom everywhere. So for you fiat establishment types, I'm with Ye.
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what?
You ain't got.
Me? Come on, chill out.
You
bro.
ain't got the answers.
Relax.
You ain't got the answers.
I'm asking you.
Man, again, how the turns table, right? Just in, investors see Bitcoin as a store of value and a game changer in how money moves around the world. Again, from BlackRock, the largest asset manager on the planet. And, it's kind of nice to see that Larry and the gang is coming full circle.
So, exposure.
Really?
Yes. I'm encouraged by how many people are focusing on it. I'm encouraged about the narrative, but I don't believe we should think about crypto as a substitute of currency. But I am fascinated by it as an asset class. Specifically on Bitcoin, we're a believer in digitization of products, and we do believe it could revolutionize finance. It's digitizing gold in many ways as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the devaluation of your currency. Bitcoin is an international asset, and so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. The foundation of BlackRock is about hope.
Larry and the gang, they're going to pump our bags, but buying an ETF or anything like that is not the revolution. Always remember where these people come from and what they're all about at their core. Robin Williams, rest in peace, and here is a classic.
Like a group of junkies who relapsed going, listen, man, I just need some liquidity, you know what I'm saying? I just ran into some bad subprime, We just had complex formulas. We just didn't factor in greed and panic, I just need $805 billion by Tuesday.
There's a very long history of banks not being the most ethically or moral. Don't want to get fucked by the bankers? Well, you buy Bitcoin. The horse is inside the castle, like the Trojan horse, right? We are inside the gate. Bitcoin is now being in this transitionary phase of becoming the global store of value. Well, the ETF is just a step in getting there. But the top 13% of people have 85% of the world's wealth. And for the first time in history, the plebs just front-ran the institutions, baby. But selling for short-term paper fiat gains is not how we win. We have to hodl. We have to outlast the institutions. This is a war of attrition. Larry Fink is coming in a major way, and it looks like at this pace, he could outpace Saylor in a few months. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and let Larry buy all the corn? Hey, we've been stacking. It may be time to stack harder than ever. People could be getting priced out of this thing very soon. The Omega candle hits, there's going to be a lot of people wishing they would have been stacking sats. Don't be that guy. Get to 1 Bitcoin, put it in cold storage, and be ungovernable. Hodl, because in the long term, we're winning in a major way. Be patient, my friends. Here's a look at the gold spot ETF. After it got accepted, we saw some months of consolidation before explosion. It's possible the same thing happens with Bitcoin. And if that happens on top of the massive supply shock, the halving in April, we're going to be moon bound, my friends. And here's a little nugget for you is Bitcoin likes to go Max Payne theory, and Samson Mao predicts the next step is a flush of all the Bitcoin shorts. Check this out, 3.9 billion shorts in total liquidated if Bitcoin heads to 47K. Yeah, we're going to be melting face very soon. But hey, hats off to all of you. Congratulations, you front ran Wall Street. Any of you that purchased before January 10th, 2024. Well, you're probably feeling like Jerry about now. Hey, you're looking to get started in Bitcoin? Want to get your Bitcoin off of exchanges? Want to take self-custody and be a part of the peaceful revolution? Or you just want to take your setup to the next level? Well, we got just the guys to get you covered. Simply Bitcoin Originals are powered by the Bitcoin Way, and as your dedicated Bitcoin IT team, the Bitcoin Way is here to guide you from start to finish on your journey to properly self-custody your Bitcoin. What's more, they've recently introduced 100% focused collaborative custody services where you'll benefit from advanced multi-sig security, inheritance planning, and much more while remaining 100% in control. Looking to get started? Book a free 30-minute call using that link below. Major bullish developments, ladies and gentlemen, going into this week. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're stacking that corn. And if you're in the Midwest, I hope you're staying warm because it is cold as balls out here. Hey, don't stop believing. Hodl to that feeling, baby. The prophecy is this close to being fulfilled. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share that Sound Money Gospel, and be sure to follow us on Twitter where we're getting all the latest breaking news. Set those notifications. Empower yourself by ingesting all Simply Bitcoin content. Every time you share an episode of Simply Bitcoin, you make a statist cry, so keep it up. Hey guys, get ready, buckle up. This is going to be an interesting week. A lot of bullish developments. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.